We're here with John Brunges, and today's a little different. We're going out and rounding up geese, and a lot of this is done in central Kentucky.
First, they see us coming, and they may be good with people up until they see the guys in uniforms coming, and then they head straight for the water. So then the trick is to get them out of the water where the group can round them up. And so that's where these little boats come in.
Now, how did this idea to come to mind?
It's actually several other states are now using them.
But this boat, basically, which is a remote controlled boat.
Just a standard remote control boat. We purchased a local hobby shop in Lexington. We throw it in the water and steer it and drive it right over to the geese, and the geese absolutely hate it. We can have them out of the water in just a matter of minutes, and they're up, and in fact they'll run out of the water up, and then people can easily surround them and start herding them into the nets like we want to.
We've got kayaks as a backup to help push these birds up onto the bank. Jury's still out on electric boats, but somebody's having a lot of fun with it.
We goose band this time of year because the birds are flightless for about a 3 to 4 week window from mid-June to mid-July.
Folks, let's move this inside fence in and crowd these birds just a little more. Be sure to stay on the bottom so they don't push out.
All waterfowl shed all their flight feathers, and for that period of time they're flightless. Geese are more synchronous than ducks, and during that period we're able to round them up very easily, band them, and then turn them loose again and let them go back out into the environment and disperse naturally.
You're banding these birds.
Correct.
What does that mean, and what information does that provide you, and how does that information get back to you?
Each bird, as we catch them, they're put an individually numbered band. It's placed on their leg. That individual number is then forwarded to the U.S. Geological Survey banding lab. That number, it has the point of where we captured it, the day when we captured it, and the age and sex of the bird that we've captured. So that if you shoot a goose a couple years down the road, they'll send you the information and say, hey, it was captured here in Frankfort, Kentucky on a certain date, and you know it's this age, and you know it was a male or a female.
Band.
8-5.
Local female.
But we'll band these young birds first, then we'll band a couple of adults and turn the youngsters loose with the adults and let them all go as a unit back to the pond. That way they don't get separated from the main flock, and the chance of mortality is high if they get separated.
So we have some good volunteers that come every year to help us out, and we couldn't do it without their support.
90004.
I have an interim position right here in the GIS office, and so it was posted through emails, and I found out through my coworkers, and I wanted to jump on that bandwagon. I thought it'd be something I've never done before and exciting, and I love it. I've done it for 3 days now.
They like me today.
You just have a propensity to irritate these birds worse than anybody else.
Yesterday I got smacked in the face after they had let one go that they had just banded. I was down on the ground and I was holding one to wait to be banded, and another one just came by and went right in my face. And it was funny. We all just laughed at it. I was like, well, payback. That's what it was.
It's a little manpower intensive. We need people to hold fences and that, and then of course if we get a large number of birds, you need to have 3 or 4 people who know how to age and sex them to put the bands on to get them released quickly. And then use your thumbs on each side of the cloaca and then try to spread it apart. You just nice even pressure as you pull it apart. Keep going. You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep going. Keep pulling it apart more. Keep pulling apart. What do you see?
I'm not sure. What do I see?
Nothing.
Okay.
On that. So that's a female. Okay.
For those who don't know, what's the difference between resident geese and migrators, so on and so forth?
What we call resident geese are geese that nest here in Kentucky. The Canada geese didn't always nest here in Kentucky. Back in the 70s and 80s, people started to say, man, our migratory birds aren't coming in the numbers that we used to have. So there were geese intentionally released around the state and across the nation to provide a resource that was dwindling from migratory birds. So we call them resident birds. A lot of people assume they live here, spend all their time here, but they actually do in some cases migrate.
We were out banding one time, and Joe Lacefield, one of our private lands biologists, said we had a great spot, you know, new spot, put a lot of new bands on at this horse farm. Went out there, he said we got about 150 geese there. Well, by the time we got done, we had put over 400 new bands on, and you know, we were ready to kill Joe.
When we get down to lesser geese, we'll hand everybody a bird and then drop the fence.
Oh, okay.
One of the important things during the 19 years of banding here, we have never lost a goose in banding. It's somewhat stressful conditions. We're a lot of times banding in 90-degree weather.
He's kind of hot. Now, typically, we'll see the whole batch panning like that. They're just hot.
And the birds are hot themselves, and the whole idea is to get them captured, band them, and get them released as quickly as possible. And I think that's pretty good, speaking that we've handled over 20,000 birds in that time period.